So yeah, this isn't our usual bag, but it's spooky season, so here we go. It's SedgewickJimmy's 5 favorite horror films. I might end up doing one for Christmas too eventually, just to warn you. Let's do this. Number 5, Dog Soldiers. Arguably the best werewolf film ever made, and yeah, it's got some competition from An American Werewolf in London. But this 2002 Neil Marshall directed thrill ride slightly edges it out in my opinion. With great effects, a good story, likable characters, that is something I really think lacks in a lot of modern horror. Likable characters, they're so rare nowadays. I want to care if a character dies, and even though this film follows a squad of soldiers out on maneuvers in the Scottish Highlands, each of them is a fully fleshed out character. When the squad is attacked by an unknown enemy and they take refuge in the only nearby farmhouse, beginning a werewolf siege. That's right, a werewolf siege. Bet you never thought you'd hear that one. The film takes a few interesting twists and turns. Spoon probably has my favorite movie death and last words of all time.
I hope I give you the shits, you fucking wimp.
But overall, this is just a well-made film with a great cast and crew. Number 4, Home Movie. Now, okay, so found footage is a subgenre that divides a lot of people, but personally, I'm a fan of it. Now, don't get me wrong, there are more than a few god-awful found footage films, but when used correctly, it's a great filming technique. An example of this is 2008's Christopher Denham written and directed Home Movie, which is exactly what the title says. It's several home movies recorded on holidays and other times that people would typically record things, hence explaining why they recorded, which is sometimes an issue with found footage. And through these recordings is the story of a psychiatrist mother and a father, yeah, I couldn't help it, trying to deal with their twin children who have, let's just say, issues. Yeah. Are they psychological? Are they paranormal? And what just are these kids really capable of? It's really worth a watch, trust me. Number 3, The Frighters. What starts as a story of a paranormal con man who can actually communicate with ghosts and uses this ability to fake hauntings, or as they call it in the film, putting the frighteners on people, and then charged for basically ghost busting, goes in quite an interesting direction in this 1996 Peter Jackson directed and Michael J. Fox starring film. A horror comedy featuring the always reliable Chi McBride and John Astin. As a few of the sticking around specters, McBride as a 70s Mod Squad dressed man of irritation and Astin's turn as the judge, a ghost literally falling apart from age. Add in the appearance of the Soul Collector, stories of a Charlie Starkweather-esque shooting spree, and the oddest FBI agent you'll ever come across. The Frighteners is more spooky than scary, but the laughs and entertainment just keep on coming. Number 2, Day of the Dead. Now, I know a lot of folks are probably up in arms right about now, because I mean, hey, how dare I include the lowly Day of the Dead rather than the almighty Dawn of the Dead? And yeah, I get it, Dawn of the Dead is one of the greatest horror films of all time, but this is a list of my personal favorites. And in my personal opinion, I prefer Day over Dawn. The story, the characters, the special effects. Greg Nicotero learned a lot of what he took to The Walking Dead while working on this movie. The movie, though just a shadow of what writer-director George A. Romero had originally planned, is his masterpiece. Watching the daily lives of 3 groups of survivors, military, scientific, and civilian, all sharing an underground bunker set up as the world ended, cut off and left to their own devices, each looking at the world through different lenses and with different rules. As John so perfectly put it,
well, that's the trouble with the world, Sarah darling. People got different ideas concerning what they want out of life.
And then there's Captain Rhodes, played amazingly by the late Joe Pilato, a man who by his accounts is doing everything in his power to keep the bunker from breaking down while he himself was trying not to break down.
I'm running this monkey farm now, Frankenstein, and I want to know what the fuck you're doing with my time!
In fact, many characters in the film are either slowly breaking down or have already broken down due to stress. An extremely quotable movie, I cannot recommend enough that people watch it. And of course, you know I've got to have some honorable mentions here.
Yeah. All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick!
They're here.
Bert, they're under the ground! They're under the ground! They can dig like a son of a bitch! Big monsters underground! Now get out! Hurry! Holy shit! What the fuck? Did you get that?
So finally, here we go, number 1, John Carpenter's The Thing. I mean, come on now, what else could it have been? This master's course in atmosphere and paranoia is easily the best horror remake and arguably Carpenter's best film. I say arguably because this is the man that made Halloween, The Fog, They Live, Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, and Starman. He's kind of like James Cameron. It's tough to pick a favorite. Now, if you've never seen The Thing, oh wow, go in blind. It's much better that way. You might want to stop watching this video right now, just warning you. Pause it, go watch The Thing, and come back. Okay, everybody on board? Here we go. First off, I have to make sure everyone knows it is based on a novella called Who Goes There by John W. Campbell, and is also a remake of the decent but still classic 1951 The Thing from Another World, but we're here to talk about the remake. The casting and acting are perfect. The setting, an American station in Antarctica, is absolutely used to the best of its abilities as the men stationed and eventually trapped there question who is who, if anyone is who they seem to be, and if they even are who they think they are. Watching as the group descends into distrust and paranoia, always watching each other and only preparing their own meals, letting their imaginations run free because of fear. And the special effects, oh yeah, the special effects are possibly the best special effects ever done on film, practical or otherwise, and the ending just leaves you with so many questions. It's a movie I watch every Halloween, and it's my favorite of the bunch. So that's our list, but what about yours? Well, be sure to leave your top 5 down in the comments, and don't worry, we will be back with the history. Got a multi-part history of India and several other things already in the pipeline, but until then, keep your eyes on the prize.